דודי, לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי, לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה שבת שלום, שבת שלום, שבת שלום ומבורך. שבת שלום, שבת שלום, שבת שלום ומבורך.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Welcome back for another Shabbat program. A few announcements before we begin. Next week, we will be celebrating Shavuot at this Friday night program. Shavuot, as you may know, is traditionally the holiday on which we celebrate receiving the Torah at Mount Sinai. Maybe not a theme that's quite as relevant to humanistic Jews as to others, but it is also the time when we read from the book of Ruth, which tells us about the very first Jew by choice, as we would say today. And so I like to think of this holiday as one that welcomes new people to our community from all walks of life and background. In honor of that, we will be hearing from Alicia Chandler. Alicia is a PhD candidate in sociology at Wayne State University, and she studies intermarriage in the Jewish community. We will also honor our graduating high school senior, Nathan Schechter, with a special book presentation that we do for those of our young people who stick with us throughout our entire post-Bar Mitzvah education program. And we'll wish him Hatzlacha, good luck, as he heads off to university in the fall. Next Saturday night, the 15th, we will, as you may recall, be hosting our virtual trivia night. This is our annual spring fundraiser. It will be professionally run by a comedian from Los Angeles, and it is totally free. Not only that, but if you are not a member of our congregation, you can actually help us earn money just by showing up to this free event, because we have a donor who has given us a challenge grant, $100 for every non-member who comes to enjoy our program. So please consider it, no matter where you are in the world watching this right now. The event is totally free. There's no gift required. It will begin at 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And we hope to see you there. Oh, you can register. Sorry, I forgot about that. At birminghamtemple.com. And here's a little graphic illustration of how you can do that. On the following Saturday, May 22nd, we will be returning to in-person programming, outside and socially distanced, for a special spring celebration sign-making event. It begins at 1:30. The rain date will be the following day, Sunday, May 23rd, and we'll be making protest signs about the causes we care about, and we will also be making lawn signs with the names of victims of black victims of violence that will complement our Black Lives Matter banner in front of our congregation. I hope that you'll all consider coming. We'll have a lot of fun. The playground will be open. And if you'd like to come a half an hour early at 1 p.m., Connie Grossman, our BT member and amazing yoga teacher, will be conducting a free, easy, gentle yoga class. Let's now turn to welcoming this Shabbat with candles.
Baruch haor ba'olam, Baruch haor ba'adam, Baruch haor b'shalom, b'shalom, Baruch haor, Baruch haor, b'shabbat.
adapted from a reading by Rabbi Jonah Dov Pessner. Ultimately, writes Rabbi Pessner, Shabbat is a call to action. Though on the seventh day we experience the world as we would like it to be, the other 6 days each week we inhabit a world as it is, and that real world is broken. So while Shabbat is a day of rejoicing, it also has the power to agitate. Shabbat can push us to see injustice in our world, to worry for those who cry out in hunger around us, to mourn the loss of our natural resources, and to rage against the forces of oppression and injustice that plague humanity. Our rituals, observances, our celebrations of this seventh day all come to inspire us and our hope for redemption, a redemption that must come from our hands as we depict a vision of Tikkun Olam, of a world repaired. Just as Shabbat calls us to provide rest for the earth, it reminds us that rest for human beings is an imperative of social justice. Shabbat reminds us that we are not instruments of any pharaoh or any oppressor.
אין אני לי מי לי, וכשאני לעצמי מה אני, ואם לא עכשיו, מתי, מתי. אם אין אני לי מי לי, וכשאני לעצמי מה אני, ואם לא עכשיו, מתי, מתי. בכל דור ודור היה ודם לראות את עצמו כאילו הוא יצא ממצרים. אם אין אני לי מי לי ושאני לעצמי מה אני, ואם לא עכשיו מתי, מתי.
May we strive to lead loving, compassionate lives with our hearts, with our wisdom, and with our actions. These are the ideas that we inscribe in our innermost heart. May we practice them day and night, teaching them diligently to our children, as it says in Deuteronomy, through our words and especially through our deeds, so that the next generations learn to revere and to celebrate life. One of my favorite science educators, a hero of many humanists, is Neil deGrasse Tyson. He wrote this: We are all connected to each other biologically, to the earth chemically, to the rest of the universe atomically. There are as many atoms in a single molecule of our DNA as there are stars in the typical galaxy. We are each of us a little universe. Carl Sagan was one of Neil deGrasse Tyson's teachers, and he put it this way: the cosmos is within us. We are made of star stuff. We are a way for the cosmos to know itself. Our guest tonight is Mark Jacobs, a longtime community activist in metropolitan Detroit, particularly in our lively Jewish community. Recently, and together with a small group of other Jewish community activists, Mark participated in co-founding a new website called New means so in Yiddish, New Detroit. It's a brand new local Jewish news and information website, and it's quite something. Earlier this week, Mark spent some time with me talking about his background and what brought him and his friends together around this terrific new idea. Shabbat Shalom, Mark Jacobs. Thank you for joining us tonight to talk about your new endeavor here, New Detroit. Just for the benefit of those who don't know you, and I know there's members of our congregation who do, can you tell me a little bit about your background, your Jewish background, your interests in this kind of thing?
Sure, of course. First of all, Shabbat Shalom. Thank you for having me. So I'm an Oak Parker at heart, where I was born and raised. Spent the first 18 years of my life in the same bedroom in Oak Park. I then went to Michigan State and eventually Wayne Law School, and stuck around the area and really have never left. I've been married for 41 years. I have two children, two boys, and 3 and soon to be 4 grandchildren.
Oh, mazel tov.
All girls. Thank you. So Detroit's my home, as was my parents, and so I've been very involved in the Jewish community for many years. There were a number of organizations that I had been involved in, but in the last 10 years or so, the groups I'm primarily involved in, with the Jewish Family Service, JFS, I was board member, executive committee officer, and then I helped found the what's called the Legal Referral Service, which is a program that is now in its 14th year. We have helped thousands of people, predominantly female, with pro bono attorneys on a number of things. And probably given away over $10 million in pro bono legal fees. We have hundreds of lawyers, so it's been a program I'm very proud of. I also co-founded the Coalition for Black and Jewish Unity, which is a partnership between the Jewish Community Relations Council and the Council of Baptists. Very proud of that. I'm involved with APAC as the Michigan Outreach Director for African American Relations, and a number of other things, but I know we have limited time. So I'm very involved and invested and passionate about the Jewish community.
Well, that was more by way of letting people know about your involvement, but I wanted to take it into this project specifically. You called me through our mutual friend and our congregant, Charlie Paul. We got in touch with each other about New new with a question mark, the Yiddish so, Detroit. And I was intrigued by this, but you had some background on it and why you decided to start this, what I'm calling a news blog.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We're still trying to figure out what it's called. I have three partners, by the way. I'm not the only founder. Ben Falick and Alicia Chandler and Ellen Kogan-Lipton, and I'm the senior of the group. So to me, I keep changing between is it a digital magazine or is it a platform? What exactly do you call it? But it's something that appears on our. We have a website, we have a Facebook page, and we have a weekly newsletter. And yes, you're quite correct. It's called New Detroit. New being a bit of a double entendre. New meaning NEW, or new meaning, as you say, the Yiddish new. Although I did ask some young folks, you know what that means, and I don't think one of them knew, which was disheartening. But new. So I guess I should tell you what the core of it is and why we're doing this. So we feel very passionately, and we think the last 5 or 6 weeks have demonstrated that there's an appetite for local writers to be able to express their point of view without any censorship, without any muzzling. If you got something to say and it's well written and it's not defamatory, go ahead and submit it. And the only way this can work is if we have excellent writing, and I'd like to think that we do. Obviously, I'm proud of it, but I really would encourage people to check it out, and you'll see there's some excellent writing from college professors and rabbis and community leaders. And we've got this person who travels to Israel, and he's been contributing some beautiful pieces, book reviews from Wayne State, just top-notch stuff. And we want to showcase the diverse spectrum of Jewish opinion. It doesn't have to just be a piece about Jews or Judaism, but something that has a Jewish flavor in some way. So, and we encourage controversy. We love controversy. My first article was "Let's Get Messy." So we've got someone who is a Jew of color, and we've got someone who is involved in interfaith marriage. We've got a pastor from Jerusalem, black pastor from Jerusalem, that's going to be contributing. So we really encourage articles that are the full spectrum of diverse Jewish thought, and if that creates some controversy, we love that. We welcome that.
So I don't want to court too much controversy, but I will say that I noticed that the legacy news that we had here, the Detroit Jewish News, kind of narrowed its focus a little bit. I think the last time I was asked to write for it was to present an alternative point of view to those who criticized the notably, I guess, more to the left group, If Not Now. And I interviewed a couple of young women who were involved in it, and I thought it was a good piece, and they ran it. And then that was it, because I know they're sort of, one of these organizations, If Not Now, Jewish Voice for Peace, those kinds of organizations that AIPAC people do not usually love. My question is, would those voices be welcome?
At New Detroit?
Yeah.
Oh, encouraged. One of our partners is called Stand with Trans. And last week we had an article from the founder, Roz Keith. Absolutely encouraged. We have a column that is going to appear probably once a month or so from a sex therapist. So I can't think of any. We invite it. And by the way, I also invite right-wing conservative positions. We want this to be like the community forum. This is the hub. You got something to say, come say it. As long as it's well written and you're not being inflammatory. This is what Jews are, right? We should talk and debate and listen.
Well, so, I guess I specifically point out those because while certainly we have issues about trans Jews and Jews of color and all kinds of things in that respect, it does seem that Israel is always the flashpoint.
Yeah.
And we're seeing it now, for instance, with the debate about the two competing statements on anti-Semitism. Right. I'm going to be involved in moderating a discussion about that in a couple of weeks. That Jewish Voice for Peace, which wasn't even eligible for mention, isn't even eligible for mention in many Jewish journals, is co-sponsoring. As a humanist, I feel every voice has to be heard. So that's encouraging.
Right.
Do you
Right.
think you'll get pushback, particularly from the Israel sort of anti-Zionism, non-Zionism nexus?
We may, but that's okay. That's okay. You know, I have friendships, relationships across the full spectrum, as many of us do, and I'm now reaching out to my more conservative Orthodox friends to say, give me something, give me something. And truthfully, I want them to give me something that's gonna stir things up. I invite that. I want that. We've got plenty of content already that one may call more left-leaning or liberal and all. But my partners and I, we don't want to be known as just the liberal digital magazine. That's not the point of any of this.
So
The
from
point
the
is to mix it up.
So from the far left to the far right, including Israel, including everything, you're welcoming the various voices. Is there an editorial hand, or is it just sort of come one, come all? Because I do know that there are some lines in the Jewish community. Jews for Jesus, for instance, always comes up at every conversation about this. Is there an editorial hand in some way that's saying not you, or you're just saying nope, it's an open market?
I think I can comfortable in saying it's an open market. I mean, before articles go to print, the four of us look at it, but we're not editing for content. We're editing for grammar, basically. We're not editing for content. We call ourselves as an unmuzzled point of view. So I hope I'm being clear. No, we're not muzzling.
You're being crystal clear, and I have to say it's a breath of fresh air. It's a very humanistic kind of point of view, where you welcome in all kinds of opinions, even the ones that have traditionally been seen as extraordinarily marginalized, or even beyond the bounds, or whatever markers we have for what's Jewish. So this is an incredible endeavor on your part.
Thank you. Well, we'll keep our fingers crossed. I did just publish something yesterday. I think it's going to be in all week. You can look it up, and it's about the integration of Oak Park schools when I was there a long time ago, and the article, I think the title is something like why did it fail, or how did it fail, and I've got some points of views about how that worked, and the article is doing what I hope to accomplish, which is really provoking a dialogue, a spirited dialogue. Some people say, great, I totally agree. Others say, it wasn't my experience at all, and you're missing this point. But I'm not bothered at all. I love it. Someone just wrote me today to say they know someone on the school board who's very upset. And I don't want to upset anyone, but okay, let's have a discussion about it. I guess that's the whole point. Let's have a discussion about it.
I think it's fantastic, and it's why I was so enthused to hear about this effort. Just one last question. It's more of a business question. I guess maybe I should have put it earlier. I noticed there's no advertising, if I'm not mistaken. You guys are all volunteers. Do you have a business model that takes this into more of a profit?
I mean, this is how far we've taken it. None of us, and we're all proud of this, none of us went into this as a money-making endeavor. So it is free. But we did say to each other at the outset, let's proceed like this and build a readership, and then see if we've got something here to talk about monetizing. But that's not our focus. It's a free membership, but there is a way if you want to support and you get to comment and a few other things. But our real focus is just produce quality writing, build up a readership, be consistent in our standards, and when everyone finishes reading an article, we want them to say, wow. And if they keep doing that, then in a year or two, we'll see what we got.
Well, I'm enjoying it a great deal. I have to say, you're down in Florida right now, my hometown, my home state. But one of the things I love about Detroit and the whole history and legacy of this area is its innovation. Its innovative spirit. This is very innovative. This is not something I've encountered a lot, and I've been doing this for a while. So I want to congratulate you guys, which you yesher koach, good job, and continued hatzlacha, good luck. Thank you so much for joining me tonight, and Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you for your time. Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you once again to Mark Jacobs. I hope everyone will take a moment to check out New Detroit. And don't be surprised if you see a certain humanistic rabbi's articles there too. That song we just heard, Bashana Haba'ah, is a reminder to us that we're getting close to returning to life as normal. Many of you have been asking me when and what will be opening. I can tell you that there is a committee consisting of members from our board and congregants as well, and including physicians who are working on exactly these questions right now. I can also tell you that much of it, of course, will be determined by the reopening rules set by the state of Michigan in coordination with the CDC. So keep an eye on what they're saying in Lansing and for announcements from our committee. We continue with a meditation on peace, adapted from the words of Moshe Davis and Victor Ratner. To do our daily part to increase light in our world, we must remember that one candle alone is a small thing. One person alone is a small thing. One nation alone is a small thing. Remembering this, we must recognize something much more than our indispensability to others. We must remember their indispensability to us. We cannot hope, not as individuals or nations, to reach our highest capabilities until we help those around us reach theirs. To be strong, we must serve. What a very appropriate message for this time we are living in. We connect it to the Shabbat lights that we kindle in our homes, our communities, and in our hearts. They form a bridge of light from these ideals to the radiant spirits of all people. May the peace of Shabbat that our candles usher into our lives inspire us to serve the cause of peace every single day. In this community where we find strength and common purpose, we turn now our minds and hearts toward all those who need our love and our support. Those who are ill, those who suffer pain of the body or spirit, those who are lonely, and those who have been wronged. As tonight our well wishes are extended to these members of our community and to their loved ones, to Joe Gaden, Julie Eliason, Karen Tremper-Harris, Myron Tink, and Rabbi Peter Schweitzer. May all who suffer know that they are not alone. And I want to stop and remind us what we mean by this is that we are there for them. May they be healed quickly. May they experience a complete recovery, refuah shlema, the renewal of their spirits and the renewal of their bodies. Our thoughts turn to those who are no longer with us, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every people and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. We recall now our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at this season in years past, and those whom we have taken into our hearts with our own. Tonight, we observe the yahrzeits of these members of our community and their loved ones: Neil Bricker, Donald Bernstein, Celia Dzoden, Benno Grunberg, Florence Hillenberg, Philip Jacobs, Mark Jarris, Rose Bonnie Jarris, Rachel Kirstein, Lawrence Klein, Alex Kozak, Henry Liebhaber, Stanton Meyer, Bernard Milinsky, Rebecca Phillips, Clara Rinsky, Esther Sacker, Flora Safer, Rose Sassone, Samuel Lee Simpson, and Samuel Stewart. Yehi zichram livracha, may memories of these beloved people provide a source of comfort to those who face life now in their absence. Once again, thank you for joining me on the Shabbat. I hope that within the next, who knows how many months, we'll be able to do this once again in person from our meeting room. In the meantime, we hug each other virtually, wish each other a Shabbat Shalom. I look forward to see you next Shabbat for our Shavuot celebration, and on Saturday night following that for our trivia night. Let's conclude now with this beautiful rendition and interpretation of Hine Matov.
הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. Behold how good it is when people dwell together, living as one people, hand in hand. What keeps us safe and strong is that we have each other, one human family across the land. Hine ma tov ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד.